Welcome in. Hour number 2, three-man front on this Thursday. We'll go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, talk to Rodney Orr coming up. Later this hour, Rob Pate down at Auburn. 12 noon, the voice of the Florida State Seminoles, Jeff Culhane, will join the program. And Brett Norsworthy from WHBQ Radio, he will be along in his weekly spot, 12:30.
Well, we are so close to college football, and the place to go check out all the action is Big Whiskey's. They're going to have all the games on in the bar on the big screen, and they're also a great place for food of all varieties. They have a full menu with apps, salads, burgers to steaks. Their bar features unique cocktails, over 120 whiskeys, including whiskey on tap. And like I said, plenty of screens so you can catch all of the football action all season long. They also offer different food and drink specials for each day of the week. They have happy hour, and the kitchen is open late every night. So go check them out in the Stadium Trace Village off Highway 150 near the Hoover Met.
Joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline from Tider Insider, Rodney Orr joins us. Rodney, I hope you're doing well on this Thursday.
I am doing well, guys. How are y'all doing?
We are doing fantastic. Week 0 is just a couple days away. I know we've got a very short list of games. It will be a lot of fun finally to get the season kicked off. But before we start talking about other things around the Alabama program, just wanted to get your thoughts on Bama this morning, naming Parker Brailsford, Tim Keenan, Deontay Lawson, and Ty Simpson as permanent captains for 2025.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great group. I really do. I mean, all of those guys been leaders. And I think there's probably a couple other guys that would have been really well qualified for that as well. But I think that's an outstanding group for sure.
For somebody who knows the running back room like you do, what is the impact, at least for the first part of the season, with the absence of Jam Miller?
Well, I think, first of all, he's another guy that's a leader. I think great leadership, having him out there on the field, the experience that he has. I think when you look at the group that they have, there's not a ton of experience behind him. Again, I think Dre Washington, obviously at Louisiana when he was there, the transfer, he probably has, well, he has more experience than any of the rest of the group. So it's the leadership and the experience that I think they're going to miss. I think his ability as picking up blitzes, all the little nuances of playing the position, he does so well. You just don't know exactly what those guys behind him bring in those areas. So I think all of those things contribute to why you're going to miss him early in the season. And hopefully the hope is that he will be back by the Georgia game.
Rodney, in regards to scrimmage number 2, was it pretty much basically what you saw in scrimmage 1, just the intel that you got after Saturday's scrimmage at Bryant-Denny Stadium?
Yeah, I think it was pretty much very similar, the feedback. I think there was a few things, maybe there was some concerns about the kicking game that were mentioned, the punting, the place kicking, even though DeBoer continues to say that both Connor Talty, the place kicker, and Blake Dowd, the punter, and Alex Esperoff, another punter, have done well in practices. They just haven't really carried it over to the scrimmages. But that seems to be something that I know the observers continue to point to as a concern. I think on the flip side of that, Ty Simpson continued to handle himself really well in that scrimmage. They did not turn the ball over in terms of interceptions, none of the quarterbacks. And they all certainly had some really good moments there. So I thought overall it was pretty much the same. The scrimmage that other than the injury to Jam Miller, most everything was pretty positive.
Now, a week and a half later, the offensive line, whether it be by injuries there at the position or lack of experience in just getting reps, what does that group look like as we head into week 1?
Hearing a lot of positive things about the group overall from both scrimmages. The people who observed think that this is a group that's got a chance to be really, really good. Obviously with Caden Proctor at left tackle, Wilkin Formby at right tackle. And now with Roberts, being out, now he's been out, don't really know what his status is going to be for FSU, but Geno Van Mark at right guard, Cam Dewberry at left guard, and of course you've got Brailsford at center. So it sounds like it's a pretty solid group. It sounds like that they've built some guys behind that group that are providing some depth in terms of Olasa Lennon could play tackle or guard. The 2 true freshmen have really opened some eyes, Jackson Lloyd and Michael Carroll. So they continue to build some depth behind that group, and it sounds like they feel like it's going to be a real strength.
When you have the measurables of being 6'4" and you're a DB, that plays really, really well if you can chew gum and walk across the floor at the same time. And Dijon Lee, he is an individual that has turned a lot of heads. Even Kane Womack yesterday, he was mentioning him potentially being a starter. For those that don't remember the recruitment of Dijon Lee and what he can bring to the table for the Alabama defense, just kind of remind everybody how good this kid can potentially be.
Yeah. No, he come out of California. He's a 5-star. Alabama and Oregon and USC and several other top programs obviously were chasing him really hard, and he ended up here. And since the day he got here in the spring, it's been nothing but pure rave about Dijon Lee at 6'4", what he can do athletically, can play the position. He's really fluid, all of the things that you look for, and he just happens to be 6'4", maybe even a little taller. And it does look unusual out there. I'll be honest with you, I was trying to think, how unusual it kind of looks to see a corner that tall. I remember the first time seeing Derrick Henry, running back, you're thinking this guy doesn't look like a running back. Well, Dijon Lee really doesn't look necessarily like a cornerback, but he plays like one. He's going to get a lot of playing time. And I think in that secondary, as we've talked about before, the rotation, they're going to rotate guys in. I don't think they're going to be afraid to do that.
Rodney, what is your expectation with Ryan Grubb running the offense? Just the eye test, how it will look, how much different will it look for Alabama fans when they're watching as the Tide takes on Florida State?
Well, I think that's going to be something that's really interesting to watch. It sounds like that the things we've heard from the scrimmages, obviously they want to run the football. And Grubb made that really clear a couple of days ago when he made the comment that the offense will go as far as we can run the ball. And so they want to have a real physical presence up front. They want to run the ball with some physicality. But they also want to be able to obviously distribute the ball around the field. And I think Ty Simpson is the key to that. He has had 2 really good scrimmages. He's had a great camp overall. He's shown the ability that he understands where his receivers are. He's thrown the ball accurately. He's made good choices and decisions. So when you combine those 2 and his ability to throw the ball down the field, which he does, he has a strong arm, and the receivers that they have, I think there's a feeling among a lot of people that this has a chance to not only be an extremely balanced offense, but one that could be very, very explosive.
Talking to Rodney Orr from Tider Insider, joining us on the Higginbotham hotline. If there's a position group to you, Rodney, that you are having a little bit of pause or concern going into the start of the season, is there one particular group that for you want to see maybe a little bit more improvement in regards to the way the season goes along, because that group potentially could hold Alabama back a little bit in regards to their goals?
Yeah, I think, again, based on kind of what I've heard, the kicking game would be one, which we mentioned. So that's certainly something that keeps coming up. But I think I think the defensive line has a chance to be really, really good. I just think the younger players behind them, and we keep hearing that Jeremiah Beeman stepping up, Jordan Renaud, some of the younger players that they have. I think that's really important because we know about those first 3. James Smith, L.T. Overton, Tim Keenan. I think those guys have a chance to be really, really solid. But I also think this, too. I would say the pass rushers, they've got to develop some consistent pass rushers. And one guy that stood out, it's going to be interesting to see if he earns some playing time, is Noah Carter, the redshirt freshman out of Arizona, who was originally committed to Washington. He flipped when DeBoer came here. He's a guy that I even had one person say they thought he was the most dominant-looking defensive player in that scrimmage on Saturday. Yeah, I think he had at least 3 sacks. So pass rushers, that's really something, to be able to affect the quarterback. I think that's a real key right there for this defense.
Rodney, with your members there on Tider Insider, what seems to be the overwhelming theme of concern, whether it be position group or certain player?
The overwhelming theme of concern?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I think it's the kicking game. That's what keeps coming up the most right now, as far as this team is concerned. Obviously, I think you have to say this, and we're all hearing these great things about Ty, and he has done a fantastic job, but he doesn't have a lot of experience. He hasn't faced the live bullets yet in games. He's only thrown 50 passes in his college career. We think, and it sounds like, listening to the coaching staff and the things that we hear, that Ty's going to be able to handle the job, and he's going to do a really good job. We think he's got all the skills, all the tools. But again, it's that lack of experience. And, how does he handle it when the bullets start to fly? That's something that remains to be seen.
That is Rodney Orr, joins us every Thursday here on Three Man Front. Rodney, take one last deep breath. Get all those things around the house that you need to knock out, because when we start next week, it's game week. So we've got a long haul for the next few months. So you need to get everything done you need to get done before we get things started next week.
Pat, I've never been able to do that. I've never been able to get everything done that I need to get done.
Me neither. Well,
if you figure it out, let me know.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a minute. But, hey, listen, Rodney, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks. That's Rodney Orr joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, your source for live music and all the sports you want to watch on incredible screens is the Finnick right there near Railroad Park. The Finnick's your front row seat to the best entertainment with the massive screens, the explosive sound from every seat in the house. The experience is bigger, brighter, and it's certainly bolder. They got a new restaurant menu that's certainly worth cheering for. They got amazing wings that are going to win MVPs and wood-fire grilled burgers stacked like your fantasy team. Steaks are amazing. You're going to forget there's a game on. Also delicious salads, fresh seafood, and a large selection of Finnick beverages. The Finnick's new 6-day schedule, it includes live acoustic acts Wednesday through Friday. So tonight, beginning at 5:30, you got live music and you got live bands 10 o'clock on Friday. Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays are all dedicated to sports. That means college football. That means the NFL. No live music to get in the way. We can't wait to see you this football season at the Finnick, 1630 2nd Avenue South near Railroad Park.
Well, Tommy Castellanos, he saw a microphone. He opened his mouth. He said something. A lot of people questioned what he said. We'll play it for you next here on Three Man Front. It is 11:17. Welcome back to Three Man Front. Appreciate Rodney Orr joining us. 11:45. We'll go to Auburn and talk to Rob Pate, get his thoughts as the Auburn Tigers just 8 days away from kickoff against the Baylor Bears. Are you seeing cracks in your foundation? Are your doors and windows sticking? These aren't just minor problems. They're signs of a serious issue that will only get worse over time. Protect your home by calling Alabama Professional Services, 205-951-9717. The pros, they really know their stuff. They'll inspect your foundation, clearly explain the problem, give you an honest, pressure-free solution. They can fix your foundation and even tackle that sinking driveway or patio with their fast and clean poly-level system. Call them today at APS, 205-951-9717, or go to their website, alabamaprofessional.com. APS has been protecting Alabama since 1977, and they'll protect yours too. Tommy Castellanos, he made a very interesting statement not too long ago in regards to his play in the ACC when he was at Boston College, what he thought about Nick Saban not being on the sideline in Tuscaloosa, how he's going to be able to perform against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Well, he got back in front of a microphone and had this to say about the defense that he sees every single day there in Tallahassee.
Oh yeah, I think Coach White and our defense is the hardest defense I'll see all year. Just schematically and stuff like that, what they do. It's hard to be back there and a lot of moving parts on their end, but it's helped me a lot and helped me be better and helped me progress as a quarterback and as a player and when to just take the check down or when to just eat it or throw it away and stuff like that and when the play is over. So I think that deep, like seeing them every day for the last 3 weeks has helped me a lot and progress as a quarterback.
So that's the best defense he's going to see all year long.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm glad they're helping him grow because he said earlier this offseason that nobody could stop him in the ACC. So.
Castellanos is the soundbite that just keeps giving.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe nobody in the country and people who know college football that talk about it and all of these months of saying, well, Florida State, they're certainly not going to be as bad as 2-10 like they were a year ago. They're going to be better, but they're going to be markedly better.
Yeah, I honestly don't anticipate them to be as bad as they were last year.
If I was Alabama, I would be more concerned with what Gus Malzahn might run that you haven't seen and just knowing his history, and with Thomas Castellanos than I would be concerned with moving the ball on a Florida State defense.
I have already accepted that 5 minutes into that game next Saturday, Florida State will be winning 7-0. I've pretty much accepted
not a bad theory.
That's probably something you can prepare yourself for. Because he's had a long time to game plan the opening drive and exactly how that's going to look, and he knows. I know it's a different staff, it's different personnel, but
first game of the season,
he knows how to get after Alabama. He does.
Defense, you make a guy make a split-second decision, make him guess. If he's wrong, frees up somebody.
I would do what Vanderbilt did last year, just do those quick little passes, run the football, let Thomas Castellanos not throw the ball more than 5 yards through the air, just quick little
Before
quick
you get that
decisions.
game flow, that would be the time that you would see Gus run something like that.
Yep.
Gotcha. The good news for Alabama is if it was like it at UCF, the scripted plays, you jump up to a 3-touchdown lead, and then all of a sudden, where did the offense go?
That is the concern of the Gus Malzahn offense, and hey, plus everything we've heard about Alabama, at least in the scrimmages, right, is they have been pretty quick to score on the Alabama defense in scrimmages. So maybe it's a quick response from the offense, and people start to feel a little better. But yeah, I think Florida State, they're going to have a good game plan. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Alabama, but it's certainly a game that you should be able to win comfortably.
You still like Alabama 13.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the bet with FSU, Dave, it's the day of the game or the week of the game?
It is the day of the game.
The day of the game.
He corrected me. Yep,
okay,
it is the
whatever
day
the point
of the
spread
game.
is. Okay, hopefully we'll see FSU Dave tonight. I think he'll be with the one carrying the spear. I'm not sure if they let him bring that into the stadium. He rides a horse to the stadium and he has the spear, but I'm not sure if the Barons will let him in with the spear.
Yeah.
Safety issue with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah. Deion Sanders. Man, I love when I hear these speeches that he gives his players. I really do. I'm not saying that being a smart aleck. I'm being truthful when I say this. Take a listen to Coach Deion Sanders as he is giving instructions to his players as the first day of school starts in Boulder.
No slides. If I see you with, I'm going to send people to campus tomorrow. If I see you with slides on campus, it's going to be a problem. If I see you with a hoodie on in class or some headphones on in class, it's going to be a problem. If I see you sitting in the back of the classroom, it's going to be a problem. Do we understand that? So GAs, coaches, appoint your guys, whoever is going on campus, because I want classes being checked tomorrow, the ones that has those classes. And if you're online, and you have online classes, and you don't have a shirt on, or you got a white beat on, or you have some stupid on that causes a distraction, or you walk around during that online session, it's going to be a problem. We good with that, guys? Sure. Now.
I love it. If you're wearing anything stupid, like Conrad's shoes he wears to work.
I was just about to say I could not play for Deion.
If you're wearing a wife beater, he's going to have a problem. I love it. How do you not love what he just told his team?
No, this is great. I mean, you've heard things in the past for him about warning players of distractions and things that can come with the attention that program gets now and staying focused and not letting people take advantage. He gives very good life advice, I feel like, to his players, and it comes from somebody that clearly has had it all at some point in his life and has found a way to navigate it. And I applaud him.
I have no issue with it. I mean, Deion's old school.
All right, so you can't
in some ways
can't wear slides on campus.
He's very cutting edge in others.
No hoodies in class.
No hoodies in class.
Or headphones.
You have to sit. You can't sit in the back of the class.
That's a good rule.
So what I'm wearing right now, I'm wearing a hoodie. I couldn't wear it. Can't wear this.
I don't think so.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, most days I could play in that program and not be penalized. Conrad, you'd be in trouble.
I would be in trouble.
Now, see, I couldn't play for Deion because I always sat in the back of the room. All my classes. I did that strategically.
It was a power position.
Why? So you wouldn't get called on for stuff?
Well, no, I didn't mind that. It's just the way things were set up when I went to college, we were on terms. And at UAB, we had 2-hour classes. So they would give us a break.
Gotcha.
At like the 55-minute mark. They would let you go out, smoke, go get a drink, go to the bathroom. whatever.
And sometimes you wouldn't go back for the second half.
I would say 95% of my college life, I was at the fraternity house. I was not going back for the second. I would befriend somebody in the class like Andy Kennedy, and I would say, hey, can I get your notes? If I miss anything.
Because Andy had
let
to
me
be in
know.
there for both sessions, or he just chose to?
No, we had a history class together. Andy was a very good student.
I tried to sit in the back of the class when I was in college, but there was one class in particular I wanted the professor to know that I was there.
Yeah, see, I was the direct opposite. Like
With this particular class, he needed to know that I was there.
Okay.
It helped.
No.
That's good.
So I like to keep my options open. So I would be in the back of the classroom, and then listen, if I wanted to stick around, I stuck around.
Well, from a security standpoint, I always think about that. I know it sounds crazy, but
it out first?
we live in a crazy world. No, it's just they call it the power seat, where you're basically set up at such a position in a public place. There's nothing behind you. You can see everything in front of you, and then if you had to respond, you would.
Yes.
But I love those rules. I
Great.
mean, it's about representing your product, representing the football team, and not wearing slides, not wearing a hoodie. You're not sitting in the back of the classroom. If you're on a Zoom call, you can't be wearing a wife beater.
Got to be paying attention.
You can't be wearing something stupid.
Can't be doing the dishes during your online
Was this in
class.
place last year?
I don't remember hearing this last year. I'm sure that there was some form of rules, but this is the first time that we actually had audio of him saying that.
If Travis Hunter wanted to wear a bathing suit to class, I'd tell him, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Deion probably would have made an exception for
Wouldn't you?
for a couple of those
It's all
guys.
you, buddy.
Well, and this is a little different, but it goes back to what we heard from Rich Rod earlier this year, right? No TikTok or whatever it was, and when you're in the facility, all those kinds of. I like go back to the old school style of these rules. Like make sure the focus is football, right? All these kids love to say, "Well, I'm not here to play school." Okay, you're here to play football, and so if you're here to play football, you're going to focus on that.
but
you're going to be a darn good student while you're at it.
And you're right. Coaches say it, and it sounds like a really, really good statement. Maybe they mean it, but it gets lost. But I do believe that Deion is genuine when he says that he's trying to develop young men.
Yeah.
And young men of character, to be men, to be good fathers, to be good husbands.
Well, look at what they
Be good
did.
stewards.
Setting up that program that he did. I believe it was last year.
Yeah.
For the kid,
For the kids of players.
Yeah.
He's doing the things that it's not just talk. I mean, there's actions with what Deion Sanders.
I do believe that there, and I think it's a small percentage, but there's a percentages of coaches that they could care less.
Yeah, and there's always going to be those people, but I think Deion has the foresight to understand. Like, he's gone to the NFL. He knows what it takes to make it in the NFL, and he knows the majority of guys on his team are not going to make that, right? But he wants them to still have ways to be successful in life and not fall back into maybe the way that they lived before, and I think that's admirable.
Another stormy day in Trussville, Vestavia, Homewood, and Gardendale. The wind was howling, torrential rains across our area. Even if your roof looks like it's okay from the ground, those strong winds and heavy downpours could be causing damage you can't see, like loose shingles or hidden leaks. Don't wait for a small problem to become a huge disaster. Abide Roofing is here to help you today. Call them 205-941-6223. Don't wait for a small problem to become a huge disaster. They're ready to help you today. It's a free, no-pressure roof inspection to make sure your home is safe. And if the storm left you with more than just a soggy yard, they also handle tree removal. Abide Roofing has your back, no matter the situation. They'll even work directly with your insurance company to make sure that you get what you need to protect your home moving forward. 205-941-6223 to Abide Roofing. Go to their website, abideroof.com.
Enhanced metrics announced by the College Football Playoff Committee. What it means, what it potentially could have meant last year. We'll get to it next. Three-man front. 11:31. Always a fun Thursday during the college football season. It's officially college football season. Week 0. We continue to talk about the slate of games coming up tomorrow. We're going to have our weekly Bet It or Forget It, the inaugural, the reigning champion, Molly G. Robinson. And Conrad will try to scheme and maybe talk strategy tonight, Conrad, about making sure that this doesn't happen again with Molly, because she's insufferable when she wins. We all know that.
I have not mentioned it all year.
You have not. I'm actually giving you
Until
an
yesterday.
opportunity
And then
Until
she did.
yesterday.
She did.
Until you guys brought it up.
It felt
I
like she
really
was.
had forgotten.
She told me to bring it up. She said, hey, Pat, don't forget, bring it up.
She
I
set
won
us
last
up for
year.
that. Oh, I won? I had completely forgot you didn't forget.
No, I didn't.
No, she told me to bring it up, and I did.
You guys are lying.
That's such a strong word. I like to use the word embellish.
Well, you're not telling the truth.
So has General Clark and the College Football Playoff Committee, have they listened to the outcry of coaches, administrators, and college football fans like us? On the surface, it looks like they have. A new added metric of record strength is going to help the committee determine how teams perform against their schedule, rewarding those that beat high-quality opponents while minimizing the penalty of losing to one. They're also going to provide minimal reward for beating a lower-quality opponent while imposing a greater penalty for losing to one. My question is, and I love that they're doing this, so obviously we're tweaking the system, we're tweaking the way, guys, that we evaluate teams. How much does this change the college football playoff field from a year ago? Is Indiana still that darling team?
Please tell me SMU's not in.
Is SMU still in? Do we have another representative from the SEC? Is Alabama in? And how much is this going to be weighted? You can add it in there, but still, there's still going to be a lack of transparency.
Yeah, I saw a really interesting breakdown of this on Twitter last night, and it was basically, okay, so this is good, but then how do you differentiate between certain schedules? And somebody brought up the example of, okay, if you're a college football team and you play a 12-game schedule and you play 10 games against high school opponents, but then you play 2 games against the 1985 Bears, that's a pretty difficult schedule, right? Because you're not going to win the 2 games against the 1985 Bears, but you're probably going to win the 10 other games. Now, what if you played 12 games against Wake Forest? You played Wake Forest every game. They're an average power team, maybe a little below average. A lot of teams could go 12-0 against them, like the Alabamas, the Georgias, maybe the Auburns of the world, right? But for a lot of other schools, you might be going 7-5 against a schedule like that. But how do you compare those two types of schedules, right, where you have all power conferences versus maybe a team that plays a lot of cupcakes or a lot of lower level opponents, but they have 2 or 3 really big matchups on their
The skeptic in me tells me this is to pacify the people like me that have been on the soapbox and so many others since we got that announcement last year about the no transparency, and they're going to keep this. And I still think that this is to kind of calm people like me down and give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to get it right. And maybe they do. The skeptic in me tells me that we still are scratching our heads over a couple of decisions, and we're going to go back to the record strength metric and go, how was this not used? Or how was it used? Because apparently it didn't make a difference.
Well, and who's to say, somebody at Reese Davis, when they do the ranking reveals, right, he asks them on TV, well, how much did strength of schedule factor into this decision between why you have, Alabama 12 and Ole Miss 13? Oh, it was a factor. Yeah, we looked and compared their 2 schedules, and we viewed that Alabama's was slightly ahead of Ole Miss, and that's why it's there.
Well,
but why?
But
what's the reasoning for that?
So the last part of this, how are they going to break it down? Because they're also going to provide minimal reward for beating a lower quality opponent while imposing a greater penalty for losing to one. So
it sounds like
what is the grade of a lower? Yeah, what is so Alabama losing to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma last year? In the eyes of the committee, would that be a lower quality opponent, or are they playing the SEC? Vanderbilt, that was one of the better Vanderbilt teams we've seen. What did Oklahoma win? 5-6 games last year?
Mm-hmm. But see, then how do you weigh? All right, let's say you lose to a 5-7 Oklahoma again, but then you beat Georgia, right? Does that Georgia win cancel out the Oklahoma? Yeah, like how do you weigh those two things against each other?
I just hope they have the transparency. I mean, I don't care what kind of new metric you come up with, as long as you give us access to it. I mean, last year when I was on the Zoom call and they told us that there were going to be 30 different metrics that were going to be involved in determining what their rankings were going to be each week. And then when we said, okay, well, how will we have access to those? Well, you'll get access to this and that, but you're not going to get the proprietary information of the company that we are contracting to provide that information to us. So if they're doing this is fantastic. It's great. It sounds good. But if we still don't know what's behind the curtain, we're still going to be critical of whatever the rankings are.
Anything that's subjective, that's why I go back to, okay, well, they heard the criticism, and they're going to ensure us, and we can trust that they are actually using this metric, so that's not a talking point. by commissioners if their teams don't get in from certain conferences at the end of the year, or fans. But how is it being used? How is it being weighted? Those question marks are sure going to be there according to this. We're not going to get that transparency.
I just hope we get away from Michigan's game control against Maryland was just so impressive, because now if they're, I guess, kind of openly declaring, well, some opponents are lesser quality than others, maybe you stop giving the benefit of the doubt for overperforming against bad teams, which, I mean, let's be honest, that's what Indiana did last year, right? I think that's a lot of the reason Indiana got in. It's not because of who they beat, it's because of how they beat them, right? Because they dominated those opponents. So maybe that still rules the day this year. Maybe not. It sounds like they're trying, though, but are they actually?
Why don't let's move to a 24 team. Let's get the 12 teams that we believe as college football fans who watch it deserve to be in. And then the other 12 that we all look at and go, whatever. Look at that schedule. Put them in a bracket and let's do it. Eventually we're going to get there to make everybody happy and what's good for the whole of college football, Conrad.
Make it like an all-star game, right? The fan vote. Half committee, half fan vote. People would love that.
But you have to pay for every time that you vote. And
Well,
that's
yeah,
a way
like
as an additional revenue stream.
There you go. There you go.
Now it pays to be on the college football playoff committee. And all of that money just goes to committee members.
That's right. Oh, yeah, it doesn't go to the schools. It just goes to the committee.
And based on the people they've had on those committees, none of those people need money.
Well, they need to stock their snack room while they're deliberating.
Week 0 is just 2 days away, and the very first game of the year is in Dublin, Ireland. And I know Molly's got her Nebraska sweatshirt on now, but earlier today she was wearing her Dublin. What does it say?
Says Dublin Shenanigans Team. It's one of the shirts I got.
Were you part of the Shenanigans team?
Oh, of course.
Oh, wow. How about that?
But I had a golf club called a Shillelagh one time.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Oh. It was a great little club from Fairway.
So the game in Dublin, we asked a Twitter poll question today.
Yeah, if Alabama or Auburn agreed to play an opponent in Ireland, would you make an attempt to go see them play?
So what's the options?
Heck yes. I can't read that, Pat.
What do you mean you can't read it?
League.
Didn't you go to school? Did you go to Nebraska?
It's not like he hand wrote
They
it.
teach you to.
I don't speak Gaelic.
We'll try.
A league in Ardol or Nilgo Rabmath again.
What in the world?
What is she reading?
I have no idea.
I'm reading what Pat wrote down for me to read.
Try it again.
Heck yes. And nil. I'm not going to try that again.
That's no fun. Try it again.
Like you're setting me up.
I'm not setting you up.
Heck yes. A league in Ardol. What is that? Nilgo Rabd.
That's right. Sound it out, Molly. Sound it out.
All right. Well, what are people voting?
I'm assuming that's no.
Maybe we should have options. Vote on what Molly is actually trying to say.
You want to give it a try?
I think Molly did a great job.
I'm assuming no, and that's at 66%, unfortunately. People are lame.
I think it's because people just can't understand what the question. I mean, I think it kind of speaks for itself, but also.
Just do the translation. It's pretty easy.
I didn't know you were bilingual.
Yeah, that's it.
Sure.
Rolled right off his tongue.
Goodness gracious.
Don't
Not even
understand why.
Irish.
See, that sounded angry, though. That was like almost like a Russian thing because
We deal with that every day. Irish folks are genuinely
that's
angry people. Unless they've been drinking.
Until they get that Guinness in the belly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then they love you. Love you like my brother.
Man, I
from
thought
another mother.
That's right. You got to split the G.
I thought you guys would find that funny.
It is funny. Is our Gaelic guy, is he going to be on the call?
I hope so.
I hope so.
We can only hope.
I tell you what, let's get everyone fired up for week 0.
Yeah.
Some of the highlights from last year's college football season.
Under head coach Mike Norvell, Florida State has blocked 5 kicks in opponent's season openers. 3 against Georgia Tech. Snap, spot, kick is on the way. Headed through the uprights. It's good. And Georgia Tech has shocked the Seminoles here in Dublin.
Ball on the near side hash. Moss and company with 13 seconds. Calls for the snap. Hands it off to Marks. Marks with room up the middle, and Marks into the end zone on the ground. And USC takes a 26-20 lead with 8 seconds remaining here in Las Vegas. Now make it 5 straight to start the season. The Tigers just cannot grab victory.
He's lining it up. 5 seconds left. NIU up 16-14. 62-yarder. Snap, hold, Jeter's kick. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked! Picked up by NIU! Picked up by NIU! The Huskies have done it! The Huskies with the biggest upset in NIU history! They come to South Bend, Indiana, and they knock off the number 5 team in the country.
From the 43-yard line for Colorado, here's the ball game. Snap back to Shedeur Sanders. Rolls left, has time, being chased. He throws it for the end zone. It is... Oh, he may have caught it. He did! It's a catch for a touchdown by LaJonte Wester on the last play in regulation.
From the 25, Milroe will sling it, far sideline, near sideline rather, and Williams makes an adjustment, makes the catch, spins away from 2 Georgia defenders, breaks away from another, and he's going to go in the end zone for a touchdown up the near sideline. We had 2 guys, couldn't catch him. Snap back to Beck in the pocket, thrown for the end zone in the back corner. It's intercepted. Trying to go to Colby Young, pass was short, intercepted by Brown, the freshman cornerback.
Foreman behind him, 3 deep. Salter running to his right. Salter throws to the right sideline, out of bounds. The clock is expired. Give me liberty. Kennesaw State ends the undefeated season for the Flames and secures its first ever FBS victory.
4 seconds to go. You're an offensive receiver. Keep that ball alive. Last play. Hail Mary. Huff gets it off. Gets to the end zone. And it's gone! Touchdown! Cam Vaughn behind the pile. Incredible!
The referee looks at his watch. He blows the whistle. It's the greatest day. And every man, woman and child stands to applaud. For rejoice, sweet mother of Jesus, they have pulled off the unthinkable. Gallium Abu.
See, Molly, that was Gaelic. He had no problem saying it.
Sorry. I'll brush up on my Gaelic.
Please do. I mean, you went over there. You're the only person on the show that's been to Ireland, and you could not read Gaelic.
No, you're right. I couldn't.
Okay.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Homework.
Okay.
Be fluent in Gaelic by tonight.
I'll try. Well, the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Trane cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand now for 11 consecutive years, and they're the official cooling partner here at Jock. So go and find a comfort specialist near you at Trane.com.
Coming up next, Rob Pate, former Auburn DB. We will talk to him about the game upcoming for the Auburn Tigers against the Baylor Bears. That's next. 11:49 here on Jocks. Top of the hour, we will talk to the play-by-play announcer for the Florida State Seminoles. Jeff Colhane will join the program. We'll get a preview of the Florida State Seminoles in 2025, including that opening game against the Alabama Crimson Tide at the brand new refurbished Doak Campbell Stadium. Joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, the famous former Auburn DB, of course, now the Entrepreneur of the Year down in Lee County. Talking about Rob Pate. He's also a doctor in his spare time. How about that?
He's a great eye doctor.
Absolutely. Rob Pate joins us now on Three Man Front. Dr. Pate, I hope you're doing well on this beautiful Thursday.
I'm doing great, man. How are y'all?
We are doing fantastic. All right, so here we are, 8 days away. Auburn Tigers getting ready to go to Texas. Just take us and put us in the mindset of a player as you're this close from actually playing somebody different. What's the feeling like as you're heading into that next week of preparation for an actual game?
Honestly, I think that you're just thankful for getting through camp and you're ready to go. know that there's going to be a lot of just excitement and nervousness, a nervous energy, a desire to see kind of how your preparation, you know, and the things that your coaches have preached that are going to work or that you're going to try, or the things that are going to be kind of wrinkles that maybe we didn't have the previous year. Just trying to get acclimated to that and see what type of success you're able to have, and see who rises to the occasion. You know, see which guys become playmakers. See what happens when you have adversity that hits. You know, those are the things that you know you try to replicate in practice, but it's just not the same as it is on a Saturday afternoon or night. And then, you know, for this team, it's about, can we go on the road? Can we go into a hostile environment? Can we be united? And we learn to travel away from home and a big win where, you know, there's a national audience, and, you know, this team's going to have to go west several times this year to play in big games. And so can they get started off on the right foot? So we'll see.
Rob, what are you hearing about the defensive side of things? Because we focus naturally on the offense and Jackson Arnold and all those talented wide receivers, the offensive line, but the defense, I'm hearing a lot of positive things coming out that maybe this DJ Durkin defense, especially in the defensive backfield, a position you used to play, might be better than advertised.
Yeah, that's been the talk of camp, is that the defense has just been dominant, and it really puts up front. You know, I think the biggest surprise is what's happening between the tackles with some of these young kids and some of the transfers that have come in, and frankly, some of the guys that have been there for a while on campus, but just haven't really stepped into the shoes that I think. But across the line of scrimmage, I think those guys have really gotten after it and threats to come off the edge, and that makes life as a defensive back much easier. I mean, for me, it's the linebacking core. It's keeping those guys clean because there's some youth there. There's some guys that are extremely talented but haven't played a lot of snaps, and you know, it's about making the picture cleaner for those guys. And you know, that means the front four, the front five are going to have to really take up some space and occupy a lot of attention. And that just makes life so much easier. If you can get things right across the defensive front, which it seems like Auburn is getting close to doing, then it can make your defense phenomenal. And those guys on the back end, you know, I think that they're going to be primed for a really good season this year. If guys that are playing steady football ahead of them.
In regards to the offensive scheme, obviously the quarterback is different than what it was last year. Jackson Arnold was one of the top guys in the transfer portal that Auburn went and was able to get. Do you see new wrinkles to what we saw last year from a schematic standpoint offensively, maybe a little bit more running game with Jackson Arnold? What's just your personal anticipation of the way the offense is going to look?
I definitely think they're going to want to use his legs in a way that we just haven't seen. I think that a lot of times, you know, you go back to Pate and Thorne, he tried to use his legs. I think he overutilized them. I think he thought he had some ability that maybe that wasn't quite there. I think Jackson Arnold elevates your athleticism at that position and gives you a true running threat, and that can open things up another way. I always said as a player, having a quarterback that could take off and run at any point, man, I mean, you're not accounting for that. And so defensive coordinators having to contend with a guy that can take off and run, I mean, that's just something that's extremely difficult. So I do expect a ton of RPO things, which means he's going to have to make some quick decisions. I know that was a big headache last week with Coach Freeze throwing a visor in practice, which, you know, I don't know when that became. I mean, my God, people came to practices 20 years ago and coaches were actually kicking players and, you know, executing them. Then I don't, you know, but anyways, Jackson Arnold's got to play well, and it's going to start with his head. Can he get the confidence and the trust to get the ball downfield?
In 30 seconds, go ahead.
And I talked to Cam, by the way. He said he has no doubt that the guy get the ball.
Rob Pate, unfortunately, sales started dropping out. We will ask Rob about Auburn. That's what I wanted, Conrad, the reaction of Rob to the claiming of the national titles. We'll talk to him next week as we get ready for Auburn and Baylor. We appreciate Rob joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Hour number 3, loaded up hour, the Southern Gentleman, along with the FSU play-by-play man, going to join us. It is a college football Thursday. We got games coming up this weekend. Can't wait. 3-man front on Jocks.